So let's go over our preventive maintenance feature. Now, this was set up to try and avoid the need for reactive maintenance so that you can predict problems or, prevent problems before they become an issue. So here on the register stops page, you can see up here in the top right, there's a spanner showing that there's actually 3 overdue maintenance required on this line. If your maintenance technicians were to click that, they can see when these maintenance tasks were overdue and for how long they've been overdue, including a description of what needs to be done. So here you can see that they need to lubricate the conveyor and clean the floor. This hasn't been completed, but these are work orders that have been set up that are going to repeatedly show. And when it's overdue on that line, they can click it here. So that's on a line-by-line basis. But if you want to see an overall overview of all the maintenance tasks and preventive maintenance tasks that need to be addressed, you can come over here to the spanner on the left side, showing that there's actually 7 site-wide preventive maintenance tasks that need to be completed. So if we click on that, you can see all the work orders that are currently in place. But first, let's go over how you actually set up one of these maintenance plans to produce these work orders. So you come up here and you click on maintenance plans, and then you click on new plan to the right here. You're going to give it a title. So I'll just call this belt check. The asset that needs to be checked for this, so I'll call this conveyor belt. The line that this is associated with, so you just pick whichever line that this maintenance task is relevant for, and of course you could set up multiple of these if this task needs to be set up across multiple lines. If there is a part number for this, you'd put that in here, but it's not mandatory. The role that's going to be asked to perform this task is quite important because you're going to have different roles set up, whether that could be electrician, operator, technician, whatever that might be. Let's say a technician is the one who needs to perform this role. Then you can put in instructions should you feel that extra instructions are necessary. So you can put in a brief description of the maintenance that needs to be done. And then the trigger down here. So you've got different options here when it comes to the trigger. You've got cycles, calendar, and elapsed time. Cycles as an option is about how many units produced or rotations or whatever that might be need to happen before the next maintenance work order is created, so that it's quite dynamic. It's based on how much the machine is actually running. Calendar is quite obviously based on the amount of calendar time that has elapsed, so you could set it up to say that this needs to be done every calendar week, and so every 7 days on the dot it will create this work order. And elapsed time is actually the amount of time since the last maintenance was produced. So the next maintenance task timer doesn't start until the previous one was finished. So you could set this up to say this needs to be completed every 40 hours. So once you complete it, the next 40-hour timer starts and the next work order will be created in that time. But let's do cycles for this tutorial's sake. You select the sensor that's relevant for this, counting the number of units, and then click the start time for this. So let's say this is to start first thing on Monday morning. We will say 8 a.m. on Monday morning. This work order will start being produced, and then the target. So this is the number of parts that have been produced or the number of pieces that have passed the sensor until this maintenance work needs to be done. So let's set this to 5,000 for now. And then you give a grace period. So after 5,000 pieces have passed the sensor, the work order will be created saying that this maintenance task is due. Here you set up a grace period to say how many more units after that does the task become overdue. So let's say the target is 5,000 and you give a 500 piece grace period. So up until 5,500, the task will be listed as due. As soon as it passes 5,500, then the task is actually listed as overdue to your maintenance technicians. So you can then create that maintenance plan, and that's going to be set up in your list of maintenance plans here. But where your actual team are going to be looking at is at this work orders page. So here they get this list of all of the tasks that are overdue, due, and estimated to be due. So there's currently none that are actually live due because all of these tasks are actually overdue and have been for quite some time. But once your maintenance team need to start okay, what are we going to do today? They open this page and they see all the list of the preventive maintenance things that needs to be done, as well as the upcoming tasks that need to be done. So it's a nice handy way to manage all of your preventive maintenance in one simple, easy place.